Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. When we use a GPS, 2 points are essentially known or required to be known. One is the point of origin, where from we are beginning our journey. And the second is the destination, where we want to reach. When these 2 points are clear, then the map can be sorted out. Exactly the same way, where we are yesterday we have seen, we are lost in the body identification and the world. So, to withdraw from the world, what we are told is the yama and the niyama sadhana. The world should not be a problem for us and we should not be a problem for the world. Similarly, we should not be a problem to ourselves. Many times, rather most of the time, we are a big problem to ourselves. When these two things are sorted out, then we do asana. And what is the purpose of the asana? To remain ever cheerful and happy. After this is done, then when you are cheerful and happy, you rise above the body identification. You don't get lost in small little things. So, the destination is freedom from body identification. This I will repeat shamelessly million times. There is nothing less, nothing more. We have to attain this. Like when you do the japa, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, how many times you have to do till you die? But here the death is such that you don't have to die again and again, die only once. So, body disidentification is the goal. Now right from childhood onwards, we have been living only as the body for the body on everybody. So it has become very firm. It is like, take an example, like a banana fruit. If we analyze this banana, we come across the following observations. Number 1, there is a skin. Number 2, there is a fruit that we eat. And number 3, there are some kind of a thin layer which is keeping the skin and the fruit together. 3 things. When you open the skin, you can see something, small threads kind of thing that we throw. We don't eat that. Unless you are a victim of naturopathy. Naturopathy people all the time talk about there is vitamin in the skin. In one house I went, they gave me this mango, cut into nice pieces with the skin. Normally the skin contains all the vitamins and everything. I said, all right. I took out the pulp and kept the skins as it for you. Eat rubbish. So, the in-between threads, the skin and the fruit. Now when the banana is young, when it is still growing, and if that time you want to peel off the banana, you cannot do it. Then we have to wait or make it ripe. And when it is ripened properly, then without any effort we can very easily peel up the skin and the threads also come out and the fruit we can eat. If this example is clear, are you hearing or not? I think you are not hearing. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, I thought you were not hearing. Once you sit, don't disturb at all. Important, Not that I am disturbed, but others are disturbed. And if you dance here while I am talking, it makes no difference to me. As it makes no difference to you for my talk, why should I get disturbed because of you? Parasparam bhavayanta. Life is beautiful. LG. Life is good? No. Lord Ganesha. It's the LG Lord Ganesha. So, when we take this example, now apply it on ourselves. In place of the skin is our mind. Banana that we eat is our body. And the threads in between, that is our prana. Breathing. In the skin of mind is the fruit of body, and in between the threads is our prana. Now if we want to separate the skin and the fruit, the process of ripening is necessary. And in the ripening process what happens? That the skin and the fruit slowly start detaching from themselves, and the in between layer of the threads is distinctly recognized. So, the process of pranayama is exactly like this. When we practice pranayama properly, what happens? That the adherence of the mind and the body becomes loosened. And then it is easier to detach the mind from the body. In other words, it is easier to drop the mind, to drop the body from the mind. For this, we have to know two things about the mind. Number one, mind is common for all the beings. That mind is not creating a personality. See? Digestion goes on, blood circulation continues. There I is not born. We never have the notion that I am digesting, I am circulating the blood. But without the mind, this will not happen. See, when the mind is not manifested in the body, that body is dead. So this is a common factor of the mind. Although appearing in all the bodies which are separate from each other, yet this factor of the mind is common. Now the second part. That mind takes the shape of a particular body. And thereafter, all the thoughts are in relation to that body. See? Like we stay in our house or in our room. Now all thoughts are in relation to that particular room or the body. And this is how bodies are born. So when I take myself to be this body, because the mind has taken the shape of this body, so the mind is now functioning at two levels. One level is maintenance of life in the body, And second level is creating an illusory I when the shape is taken. And when the shape is dropped by the mind, as in deep sleep or dream, etc., that time I is not there. But the common mind is functioning, and this is how the life continues, even in the deep sleep. See? Therefore, when we practice meditation, in due time, slowly, we will be able to detach the body and stop thinking in relation to that body and continue to function in this world. That state is called as Name dveshosti na priyaha. None is dear to me, nor I hate anybody. Because samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshosti na priyaha. See, friends, like for the mind, whether it is biting sumptuous food by the mouth or defecating through the other end, for the mind it is the same process. It is not the mind feels very much honored when in the mouth and dishonored when at the other end. No, mind doesn't have personality. Personality is born the moment the mind adopts the particular shape of the body, thereafter the I is born. Therefore, if we want to get rid of the worldly issues, the only thing is this. Till such time we take this world to be real, we will be far away from the truth. Our world will be me, my wife, my children, my grandchildren, my house, my property. See, they cannot come out of it. See. Therefore, the goal of meditation is attainment of freedom from body identification. And this is what all of us know, and yet we don't know that we know. How? Those people who commit suicide, what must be the foundation of their suicidal attitude? That once I drop the body, I am liberated. So, if we can commit the suicide without dying, that is called as living in meditation. No more association with the body as I. Thereafter, the functioning continues, but a body is not born. This is what we told you a number of times. There will be knowledge, but there won't be a knower. There will be action, but there won't be a doer. There will be a joy, there won't be enjoyer. There will be experiences, but there won't be experiencer. And this continues 24/7. So there is no I. This I is not 24/7. Waking I is only in the waking state. The dream I is only in the dream. The deep sleep I is only in the deep sleep. The samadhi fellow is only in the samadhi. Afterwards, again the same dhum dhadaka start. But this one, which is going through all the experiences and yet not becoming an experiencer, is the ultimate destination. It is for this purpose we have to practice pranayam for a short period every day. Like what? Every day we have to go to toilet and urination 2-3 times. If you don't go, how uncomfortable it is. Exactly the same way. We keep on eating huge quantity of food. Some of the food that is consumed is used for making the body tissues. Some of the food is used for producing energy for our body and mind, and remaining unwanted aspect of the food is rejected from the body as unwanted things. And this unwanted rejection is again of 3 types: solids, liquids and gases. Solids go through fecal material, liquids go through urination, perspiration, and the toxic gases remain inside the body. They are not removed. The reason being, those toxic gases keep on accumulating in the blood becomes saturated. And when the blood's capacity to absorb these toxic gases doesn't mean the gas emission that we do because of indigestion, that is not the one. These toxic gases keep on accumulating in the blood, and when the blood is saturated, it starts depositing in the joints. That is why in Ayurveda it is called as Sandhivat. Vat is air. Sandhi is junction, joint. So all these toxins keep accumulating in these joints, and because they are toxins, they start eating the head of the bones, they start influencing the cartilaginous disc if it is there, and they start dehydrating the synovial fluid. This thing happens. And as a result, when the age grows, all the joints become painful. So these toxins, when they are accumulated in the joints, when we break our joint, nothing breaks, but the sound comes, cut, cut. What is that sound? Because those toxins which are accumulated, they created a tension in that joint. And when you break it, the tension is released, again it goes back to the blood. And when you do that breaking of the joints, you feel relieved. Aha, nice. So these toxins are to be removed consciously, carefully. Friends, don't listen to what I am telling you to tell others. This is what I can smell. There are many people who listen to tell to others, but it is never practiced in their life. There was one person, he came, he said, Swamiji, I am listening to you and I also conduct satsang, but I am always short of examples. You give so many examples, where from they come? Please tell me the source of the book. I will also use it. I said, one source is you. You are my example. This knowledge doesn't come from the books. Observe yourself. Learn from every experience. Otherwise, the moment we listen to something, okay, I'll listen. In somebody's book, that person showed me, Swamiji, I have numbered your jokes. And when I am giving my lecture, there I mentioned in the corner, joke number 13. But people laugh to your joke, my joke people don't laugh. And there you write bracket, laugh, laugh, laugh. Dumb. This is one of the biggest obstacles. When we take the position of a guru, a teacher, your process of learning is totally stopped. We are all the time thinking in terms of how can I teach others? Don't do that. Biggest obstacle. Swadhyaya or Adhyatma pertaining to ourselves. So, these toxins are to be consciously removed from the blood. Normally, when we breathe very superficially. And we breathe normally 15 times per minute. So if you calculate, it comes to 216 times per day. And this is happening. Although this is happening, yet because it is not deep breathing, those toxins keep on accumulated in the blood. So they have to be removed. And therefore, deep breathing is addressed not for health purpose. Health is a byproduct. Don't bother for too much for health. So that our bond between the mind and the body, that bond is loosened. And thereafter, without any effort, the mind drops the body and the individual mind merges in the total mind. Be very attentive. But this merging of the individual mind in the total mind is not like going to sleep. Because in sleep also, the individual mind merges with the total mind. When the individual mind merges with the total mind, without going to sleep, all experiences of the world keep on happening. But none of the experience has any freedom to create any turmoil in us. So perception continue to be. But the reaction of the mind as an earlier habit, those reactions will be suspended. Very important. And it is for this purpose the pranayama is done. If this is clear, then next step comes about how to do pranayama. You are all great yogis, what can I teach you? So only simple thing I can tell you is deep breathing, slow breathing. Whether you do anulom vilom or whether you simply do deep breathing, effect is the same. In anulom vilom, you can impress upon somebody, oh, he is a yogi. Or if you are simply sitting, whichever way you are comfortable, thereafter, first, now be attentive to the process. First, we breathe out, don't do it, simply listen. We breathe out by squeezing our abdomen, more precise, our diaphragm, inside upward. This exercises pressure on the lung tissue and the lungs are squeezed. As a result, all the air from the lungs comes out. And then slowly we breathe in fully. So the cardiac lobes and the lower abdominal lobes, both the types of lobes of the lungs, they are filled with the air to the capacity. And again the diaphragm is squeezed inside upward and again the lungs are squeezed out. In this manner it goes slowly. Now how do we know whether we are going the right way or not? First, we breathe 15 times a day. Now start reducing the frequency of breathing per minute. So, we breathe out first and then we breathe in very slow without counting. Don't count, mind will be born. This is what the yoga people teach. When you breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold inside up to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And when you breathe out, count 16. So you do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't do that dumb thing. See that the mind is not born. Don't allow the mind to be born. Remain in awareness. Because counting happens in the mind. So, first of all we breathe out and then slowly breathe in, and in that take minimum effort and maximum length. When you practice breathing in, first fill in your lower lobes, or we call it for simple understanding, stomach. So first breathe in up to the stomach level. Let the stomach bulge. Thereafter continue breathing and fill in the upper part of the lungs, and by that your chest will expand. So your stomach is filled, stomach has expanded, chest is filled, chest is expanded. And then slowly, without holding the breath inside, no kumbhak, then breathe out first from the lungs, let the stomach remain filled. And thereafter, from the stomach, by squeezing the stomach inside upward. If we do it very slow, in due time, it will not happen overnight. If we do this, from 15 per minute frequency can be reduced to 2 or 3 per minute. It goes even beyond this. It is a question of practice. And when it is done for a period of time, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, then you can distinctly experience that your mind is relaxed, because the hold of the mind on the shape of the body is reduced. Now the mind is relaxed. And that relaxed mind thereafter is engaged for contemplation. And through contemplation we come to get conviction that our existence is independent of the body. Body is just a house where we are staying. When the house is destroyed, we are not destroyed. And to that extent, our involvement in the world will be reduced. And when the involvement is reduced, then alone we become more subjective in our approach to the reality. If these things are clear, now like yesterday, sit quiet, proper posture. We are cheerful and happy. Nobody has compelled us. In our heart is our beloved Lord and the Guru Maharaj. The Lord protects us from within. The Guru guides us from within. At this moment, we are nobody. Therefore, all the meditations that we have done in the past, they are left in the dustbin. Now you are fresh. There won't be any repetition. Because you are nobody, you have no past. At this moment, we are one moment old. A child doesn't know after birth whether the child is man or woman, beautiful or ugly, rich or poor. Because there is jivana, life, but no jiva, no individual. So that is our state as nobody. Next, we don't plan anything what we will do after meditation. Therefore, the future is blocked. So now the mind neither goes to the past nor the future. Present without past tense and future tense is not a present tense, but merely the presence. Now, as we told you the sequence, first breathe out from your stomach by squeezing it inward, upward, and then breathe in slowly. Stomach is filled, then the chest is filled. Then in the reverse order, start breathing out. And after some time, we'll give you some observations and instructions. Now you can begin this pranayama exercise. Initially, we are unable to establish a perfect sequence of breathing in and breathing out, but have patience. By awareness, it can be arranged. It's not difficult. Second thing, the time required for breathing in and out must be equal without counting. When a rhythm happens, the equality of breathing in and out will also happen. Have patience. Continue. If still you are not able to catch it, you can watch me for a few moments and again start. You breathe normally. One can do this type of pranayam for 10 to 15 minutes before contemplation. This helps the mind to give up the shape and the form of the body. This practice of pranayam also helps us in discovering patience. Patience is extremely important on the spiritual path. Remember, Shirdi Sai Baba used to say, Shraddha and Saburi. Saburi is patience. Overnight, nothing happens. Now, if you observe, your breathing has become slow and shallow. This slow and shallow breathing is the master key to drop body identification. So, with great awareness, we have to be vigilant that this quality of breathing, slow and shallow, does not alter, it remains the same. If the breathing becomes faster, then we are getting identified with the body. If the breathing becomes deep and not remain shallow, then we are entering sleep. So one has to be alert and vigilant, that the quality of breathing doesn't change. There are minimum thoughts erupting in the mind. And these thoughts are not very powerful. Like a breeze, they come and disappear. So we remain indifferent without much efforts. thoughts in relation to the body reduce. Mind is relatively quiet. After some time, the mind will start again the old habit of fabrications of thoughts. Instead of fighting with the mind, let us engage the mind. What it is like being other than the body. What it will mean. So we find out what is body. Body has got a shape. To be other than the body means no shape, no form. Is there anything like this? And we know, yes, the space doesn't have shape, doesn't have any form. So let us play being space. What must be the experience of the space? So the space supports everything but doesn't get influenced by anything. So the worldly things cannot have any influence on ourselves. Body has a beginning, modification and end. When we are playing space, the space doesn't have the beginning, modification or end. Is it not our experience? We don't have the experience of our birth, the beginning, modifications or death. This eternal principle, whatever it may be, is the ultimate truth. Because the mind has dropped the shape and the form of the body and merged with the infinite space, there cannot be anything happening inside the body, nor do we struggle to see something or hear anything, because we are already gone beyond body identification. All experiences are happening. The sound, the air of the fan, the noise. But the experiencer is not born, and hence there is no reaction. Therefore, meditation without a meditator is the infinite reality. When the mind has given up the shape of the body, there are two options. Either the mind merges in the Prakriti, matter, and it leads to Jada Samadhi. No perceptions, no nothing. But when the mind merges in consciousness, then all experiences will be eliminated, but the experiencer will not be born. Therefore, one must drop the wrong notion. Living in samadhi means not experiencing the heat and the cold. No. All experiences will be absolutely normal, rather more subtler, but these experiences will not disturb. By creating an experiencer. Like when some bad event happens and we are in deep sleep, that event doesn't influence us because the mind has merged in the matter. But when the same event happens, we are not in sleep, we experience that bad event, and yet we do not become influenced by them. Then the mind is approaching its disappearance in consciousness. Mind is nothing but knowledge. When the knowledge has objectivity predominance, it gets lost in the matter. When objectivity is dropped, it goes back to the consciousness. And therefore, meditation is neither good nor bad, neither successful nor a failure. Take deep breath slowly 2-3 times and observe how the body is included in the mind. Move your toes and fingers and see now how the concept that I am inside the body and the world is outside the body has become real, and samsara of duality begins. Offer everything at the feet of the Lord. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.